Welcome to the Architects of Latino Success podcast, where we spotlight the influential leaders who are shaping the future of the Latino community. I'm your host, Joe Castillo, and today's guest is Daisy López-Cid, a true trailblazer in both real estate and community leadership. Daisy's journey in the Central Florida real estate market spans over 20 years, from starting as a real estate associate to becoming the owner of the most successful RE/MAX franchise in Osceola County. With a ranking among the top 250 agents in the country and a number 3 spot in 2015, Daisy's success speaks volumes. But it's her dedication to the Latino community that truly sets her apart. Daisy is not just a businesswoman, she is a real, caring leader who genuinely wants to see her community thrive. Her authenticity has earned her a loyal following, as people know she's in it for the right reasons, with no ulterior motives. Her commitment to sustainable Hispanic homeownership led her to join NAHREP in 2008 and ultimately serve as the 2018 national president. Daisy's leadership focus on quality over quantity, always ensuring her agents have the tools and education they need to succeed. She leads with a passion for both business and the community, empowering those around her to achieve their best. Ready to get started? Vamos. Daisy, thank you so much for joining the podcast, Architects of Latino Success. As you know, yes, great to hear. I'm excited for you to join us as well. As you know, I am a big fan of yours, not only because of our real estate business that we have so close to each other with RE/MAX, but also because of your leadership throughout NAHREP. And as I mentioned, one of the things that I love most about you, and I know most people when they describe you, is your authenticity.
That gets me in trouble sometimes.
I can imagine. I'm a little too honest sometimes. Is that right?
Yes. Well, it is what it is, but it's the authenticity.
It's right. I think people love hearing it, and I think that's one of the great great things you bring to the table. So let's start with a really easy question. Hopefully, it's just how did you get started in real estate, and what brought you over to NAHREP?
How did I get started in real estate? A friend of mine said, Daisy, you would be great for this. And I said, okay, let's look at it. Right? Let's see what it is. And it's easy. It was easy for me because for me, it's easy to talk to people.
Was it something that you always had in mind to be an entrepreneur?
No, never. I never thought that I would own my own business. I never thought that I would be an owner of anything. I thought I was just going to be a worker bee, like my parents taught me to be, right? You're going to work, and you work to pay your bills. Never thought I was going to be able to be my own boss.
So was there a fear component there, jumping over to entrepreneurship, to a commission-based system as opposed to getting paid hourly?
Had I been single, it probably would have been, but I wasn't. And I had my husband, and my husband said, hey, you can do this. Go do it. I'll handle what I need to handle at home. If it doesn't work out, then, you always have a backup.
That's right. So you had a great cheerleader at home.
I did. And I still do.
That's terrific. Yeah, we're familiar. And so that's terrific to hear. And then as far as NAHREP goes, like how did that come about? Was it early on in your career? Was it later in your career?
It was a couple of years later, right? Once you doing real estate so well, like most agents, you say, why am I working for somebody? I should be working for myself. I didn't think that way, but I was pushed into opening up a brokerage. And I remember I didn't have that mentality. I just worked to do well. And as it went well for me, thank God, I said, okay, I can do this for myself. And then I did, and I did it at the worst time ever. And then I don't know, Gary, how did I get started with NAHREP? Gary needed to work with someone in RE/MAX in my area who was Latino. And I was fortunate that I was the only Latina with a RE/MAX franchise in the area that he was looking to work with. And he invited me to NAHREP, and I never left.
And what was the initial draw, would you say? I mean, to have someone reach out to you out of nowhere, because you didn't know who Gary was.
I didn't know him at all. I had this man on the voice. Hello, my name is Gary Acosta. I'd like to meet with you. And I'm saying, who is this man?
Can I just say real quick, the best Gary Acosta impression I've ever heard right there? Thank you.
He's very nonchalant, and I'm on the other line saying, who is this man? He wants to talk to me. He's looking for me. So of course I Googled, who he was and what the organization was, and I went to meet him. And a month later, I was in my first DC conference, and that was March of 2008.
And what was it about NAHREP, or that first experience that you had, that has obviously kept you as part of the organization for so long?
Wow. I just said this in another group just last week. And to walk into a room full of people like you, dressed up, you know how we are Latinos, all dressed up, always looking good, always smelling good. Exactly. You walk into a room full of Latinos, and they're not looking at you. They're not sizing you up. They're talking about, how are you doing? How are you doing? How are you doing back in your market? How can we help? Are you doing this? Are you doing that? For me, it was just like, where am I? I went into another world. And since then, I've been trying to pay it forward.
Yeah, no, and that's clearly been the case. You were a national president of NAHREP. You are currently in charge of the chapter and the expansion of NAHREP throughout the United States. So, I'd love to hear more about your leadership opportunities with NAHREP, whether it's a positive experience or something that you were able to overcome. Can you just share a little bit about that with your leadership through NAHREP?
Wow, that's a lot in the little time that we have. But I think I've played a little bit of something on every role, which gives me, I think, the experience to be able to talk to different people in different roles. From starting a chapter to getting on the national board, listening to Gary and seeing his vision. We've always been big on the West Coast. And, I told him he wanted to come to the East and expand. We did have a chapter in New York. And I just jumped on that wagon, and, Armando and I went across the country opening up chapters where prior to COVID, we went up to about 112 chapters nationwide.
Amazing.
Yeah. I mean, it took 2 years, but we did it, and it was great. It was just wonderful spreading the NAHREP vision and mission.
So clearly, Gary, Armando, everyone realizes how great of a leader you are, how you're able to convince people or to share with people the passion that clearly comes through, and so that they better understand the mission of NAHREP. But how is it that you approach leadership? What have you learned from these different roles that you've taken within NAHREP?
You have to learn how to listen.
Okay.
Right. There's no difference in selling real estate and leadership. You have to learn how to listen. Right. When you're selling a home, you have to listen to what your buyers want. Mm-hmm. And you have to know that you're walking into that house and this is going to be the house for your buyer. It's the same thing in leadership. You have to know, listen to what they're looking for, what are their needs, in order to be able to help them and lead them down the path that they want to go.
Was that instinctual? Is that just how you were brought up? I mean, how did you learn this style of leadership that you're referring to? Because there's clearly people out there that would prefer to just tell you how they feel and just follow me because of this. But you're mentioning something different, right? You're talking to people, you're asking questions, you're trying to get something out of them. Like, where did this come from? How did you learn this?
Latinos like to talk.
So you let them talk?
Right? God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth, right? You need to listen to what they want, what they need. Again, you any position that I've ever been on, any board that I've sat on, you need to be able to listen before you speak, right? If you speak too soon, then you think you know it all, right? And you don't know it all. We don't know it all. But just learning how to listen. I mean, I've been told that I wear my emotions on my sleeve.
Yes.
So you can tell when I'm mad, when I'm happy, when I'm sad. And you can tell when I'm pissed. Right? So it's just body language. When I have meetings, Zoom calls with our chapters, I like for their cameras to be on. When I'm talking, I want to see the look on your face. Body language says a lot.
Yeah, it's in the Zoom age that we're in, right? I think it's so important to have the cameras on throughout this process just to make the communication a little easier.
Absolutely.
So when you are training the future leaders of NAHREP, what's the advice that you give them? Is it just that? I mean, to listen, not just speak. I mean, tell us a little bit about the advice you give leaders, the future leaders.
Future leaders, you need to treat people the way you want to be treated.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's number one. You don't disrespect. And you need to treat NAHREP like you treat your business. So most of our members, right, most of our leaders, our chapter leaders, are business owners. They run their own teams, they run their own companies. If you wouldn't do it for your company, why would you do it for NAHREP?
Yeah.
I mean, you need to know where you want to go, right? Which is what I tell them as well.
So
right?
goal setting.
Exactly. You need to know where you want to go, and then if you can dream it, then you can do it.
Yeah. Are you a big proponent of mentors? And I mean, I know we've had this discussion before about the people in your life you consider mentors. Is that something that you really let future leaders know about?
Absolutely. Mentorship is huge. You do not know everything. Even your mentor doesn't know everything, right? You need to be able to listen and then act, right? Because speaking to someone or listening to someone and not doing it, then you're wasting your time and that person's time.
Sure.
Right? But yes.
Well, no, that's great. I mean, it's all great advice, and I know these are the different types of things that you share with so many young leaders, not only of NAHREP, but I'm sure within your community. But I think one of the things that they look up to you about is the success you've had in your life, whether it's obviously coming from New York to Florida and starting your own office, like you said, at the absolute worst time possible in the market. But all the success you've had as far as growing that office, and then the success you've had with NAHREP. How do you stay motivated and continue to grow, not just personally, but professionally? What is it that you do for yourself, or how do you do that? How do you stay motivated?
My grandkids.
Oh, okay.
My grandkids motivate me. I want more. I want to be able to give them more. I want to be able to go on vacations with them. I never had that growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So I didn't have that. I want to give that to them. I want, when I get old, they can talk about the vacations that we took and the things that we did. And I don't know, just, you have to have the drive, and you have to have the wants, right? You want, because if you're okay with your life day in and day out, and who are we to tell you what to do? You have to have the drive, right? And we're not getting any younger, so we want to make sure that we do what we have to do so that you can. My parents never retired.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My dad was always working, and I want to be able to retire and travel and take my grandkids with me, even when they're adults.
So are you setting goals for yourself? Do you change them on a yearly basis? How do you go about setting those goals?
I preach, you have to have your business plan, right? Every year, your agents, your people around you, I set a business plan every year. Quarterly, you look at your business plan and you say, okay, do I need to change this? Do I need to change that? How am I going to get here? Are things changing on the market? Are things changing with me? You need to be abreast of what's happening around you. And you can't just do goal setting and leave it alone and then look at it next year.
Right. You're constantly reviewing it.
You constantly reviewing what you want. And being at NAHREP, I've always said, and I continue to say, that I am the perfect example of what NAHREP can do for you, right? Being around movers and shakers makes you want to be a mover and shaker, right? Being around people who are super successful and the things that they're doing makes you want to do those things as well. And as long as I have blood running through my veins and that my heart is pumping, I'm going to continue to do what I have to do to lead the life that I like.
Yeah. Is that one of the things that you love then about NAHREP, obviously, is the exposure to, like I said, top performers, just like yourself, obviously.
And you can talk to anyone. That's the best part, right? Because nobody's better than anyone. You can talk to Leo from, the CEO of EXP. You can talk to Juan, who runs a successful business in San Diego. You can sit down and talk to Gary. Gary's a wealth of knowledge. Right? I love picking his brain, or not even picking his brain, just sitting down listening.
Do you find yourself when you are trying to motivate yourself? Obviously, you have the goal setting in place, but is there anything that's on a daily or weekly basis that kind of keeps you going? Is it just that picture of your grandkids on your desk that keeps you going, or anything else?
I get up every morning, get dressed, and go to work. I can't stay home. Right? I can't stay home. If I stay home, I'm going to stay home in my pajamas. I'm going to watch TV. I'm going to drink my coffee. I want to relax. I don't want to work when I'm home. Home is my safe haven.
Got it. So you're definitely an office person.
I am an office person. Now, if I have to work at home, it'll be in the evening sometimes when you need to get things done, right? Especially working with NAHREP, the 3 hours behind, it gives me a break. I can work from home. But it's home is my safe haven.
Yeah, no, I think I can totally agree. It feels like I turn something on when I get to the office, and I can turn it off when I get home, right? That's
right. My phone never shuts off, right? So I'm still receiving text messages, and you're still working, but not in the way that you would when you're at work.
Well, Daisy, you have such a terrific life story. I would love to hear from you. If you were ever to write a book, what do you think the title would be of that book, and what would the overriding theme or lesson learned be of that book?
I was thinking about that. I may sound a little cheesy, but I came up with something. I'm gonna lie. I had some friends help me with it, but
that's okay.
I like from el barrio to the boardroom.
Okay.
Right? It shows perseverance and leadership, right? Everything that I had to do to get out of the barrio. And once you got into the boardroom, what's that about?
Yeah, I love that. That's it's terrific. And it clearly it shows the story, right? From the beginnings in New York, the barrio, right? To where you are now, and your roles within NAHREP and outside of NAHREP. So that's terrific. I love that.
I threw a little Spanglish in there, which is me.
That's right. That's right. Nothing wrong. Also, nothing wrong with getting a little help from friends. We've just been talking about how important it is to have mentors and friends in this business. So it makes sense to me. That sounds terrific. So are you going to write this book? What's going on?
No, that was just for you.
Well, I think you might be surprised after people hear about it. They're going to start getting advanced purchases coming to your website for what is it? Desde el barrio del barrio?
Del barrio al boardroom.
Al boardroom. I love it. Man, I see. I'm ready. Get my $25 is ready to go.
Listen, I could tell some stories.
I know you can. I've heard a few, and I know there's more. So I want to read them. So, Daisy, again, I truly appreciate your time today. I have one last question for you. It's kind of a tricky one, but what belief or habit do you hold that most people find unconventional that you feel has led to your success?
My authenticity has been there, but I think that one of the biggest ones is knowing when you're wrong, right? Because we tend to fight, and you fight, and when you're right, but you need to be able to agree and accept when you're wrong, and a lot of us don't like to do that.
Oh, I see. So I mean, but I see that as being part of the authenticity, of course.
Well, yes and no, right? Because when you fight with your spouse, you're always right to the end.
Were we talking about spouses or business? It's two different things.
It is two different things, but it's not, because I mean, once in business, you're right. No, this is the way it is, and this is how you write it. And when you're wrong, you need to be able to admit it. Some people can't do that. I know people who cannot admit when they're wrong.
Yeah, no, whether it takes a little bit of time or not, if you can acknowledge being wrong, I think it's very powerful for sure.
It it sets you away, you know. I mean, and then being truthful is 50%. 50% of the people like you and the other 50% won't.
Yeah, and I think that's truly unconventional to understand that you don't have to appease or be liked by everybody, and you can still succeed, right?
Yeah, and I used to have that problem where I'm going to sound a little. And I still do. I want everyone to be happy because I don't do any harm to anyone, right? So I want to please everyone and make everybody happy and want everybody to like me. But in reality, not everybody's going to like you.
Yeah, well, I mean, you being truthful isn't because you have bad motives behind it. It's just you being truthful, and that's it. Just trying to be helpful, right?
Exactly. Sometimes they don't take it that way, but yes, it's that way.
Well, hopefully you did have a good time on this podcast. It looks like you did. Like you said, you show your emotions on your sleeve. You're smiling, and so I appreciate that. And really, truly appreciate you taking time today and being honest and truthful with us, true to who you are. You're the authentic self. Daisy, thank you so very much.
Thank you for having me. This was great. Anytime, Joe.
Perfect. Thank you.